Dollar index is trading at a very critical point at the moment. Last week, I talked about the possibility of price pushing all the way to the top here, and price has done that. And obviously, you can see that historically, price has rejected these zones previously, right? Previously, as you can see, and these zones also. So basically, price has been ranging between these two zones. So what's going to happen next week? Will dollar eventually break above this zone? If that happens, then dollar is going to rally all the way to the upside, all the way to the upside. I'm talking about all the way to the upside here. Remember, this is the weekly time frame, so this is a massive move to the upside. Now let's look at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, you can see clearly this is purely a ranging market, right? And I gave you two scenarios last week. I was like, if price breaks below this support zone, then we are going to start looking for sells. However, as long as price sustains above this support area, then price will keep pushing higher, at least until we come into the zone first. And like I said in our last video, if price eventually breaks this particular zone here, then automatically we now have a higher high here. All right. We now have a new higher high because this will be the most recent high that has been taken out. So when this happens, what should we be expecting? A pullback into this zone. Then whatever trade I catch inside here, now I don't trade the dollar index, so I'll be mirroring this on the Euro USD, GBP USD, and other trades, right? So if dollar index now pulls back into here, I'll look for selling opportunities on Euro USD, GBP USD, AUD USD, all those major USD pairs, right? So I'll trade in favor of the USD, and I'm going to swing and hold for a long time. Of course, like I always say, the prop firms, I'm definitely going to close earlier on that one. But let me show you another dollar index that my students are forcing me to love, right? The price chart. This is the Dow Jones Dollar Index, by the way. So this DXY is actually TVC. This other one I'm trying to show you right now. So I also like the price movement. Actually, I prefer my Dow Jones Dollar Index, but this one also looks good, right? On the monthly time frame, clearly price is in an uptrend. I like this TVC Dollar Index because it has more historic price action compared to the one of FXCM, right? So as you can see clearly here, it's obvious price is also ranging on the monthly time frame on this one. But however, price has given us a double bottom here, right? Double bottom before going higher to create a new higher high. And this is just a pullback to the neckline. So I'm leaning on the side of dollar rising all the way to the upside, all the way to at least 120.363. But first of all, let's go to the daily time frame. Let's look at some more compact price action. But before we go to the daily time frame, let's look at the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, you can see price is still like it's in a downtrend, at least between this point and this point. But guys, if we take out this trend line, let's even go to the daily time frame so that we'll get a clearer picture of this. So guys, if we take out this trend line, you can see price is obviously trading at the trend line. So now two things can happen from this zone. We could either bounce off this zone or break above. But guys, if we break above this trend line, that means we now have a new higher high here, right? Because this high is obviously higher than this one. If that happens, right, then wait for a pullback, just like I said when I was talking about the other dollar index. Then inside here is where I'll be looking for buys to trade all the way to the upside with this area as our first take profit area. Let me just make it a round number, around 106.0000 up here, right? So that will be our first take profit area. And then if we break above that, then we'll keep trading all the way to the upside. Dollar is actually looking like it wants to fly off at the moment, but I'll be keeping a closer on that. But for the early part of next week, however, I believe price is definitely going to react to this trend line because as you can see, we've seen 2 days of weak price action around there. I mean, price came into here on Thursday, then Friday. Both days it failed to break above, giving us a dodgy candlestick. That signifies indecisions, which means buyers are taking profit, right? So now I'll be expecting a rejection for the initial part of next week. I'm not trying to say that price is just going to keep pushing lower here. We have to be careful because for the past couple of weeks, dollar has been super strong. So we have to be careful. But the pullback I will be expecting is at least back into here before we either go back and break above this zone and continue higher, or if we break below, then we'll be looking to trade at least to the downside here. All right, enough with the dollar index. Let's go look at some dollar pairs because I don't even trade the dollar index, by the way. So let's start with AUD USD. AUD USD is super bearish. Remember in last week's video, I told you I'm not bullish at all on AUD USD. I'm just bearish because I have to go with the trend on this one. Everything is super bearish. AUD USD, NZD USD, and even gold, right? They are super bearish at the moment. So I'm not even looking at buying possibilities on these three pairs I just mentioned. So like I said last week, there was some rejection from this trend line on AUD USD. Price gave us a double top here. Let me even circle the double top so that you can see. Price gave us a double top here, and this was the neckline which has been taken out, retested. Then now we've created a new lower low here, right? Breaking below this previous low. So price is in a super bearish trend at the moment. So I'm not even looking for anything buys. However, just like I mentioned on the dollar index about an initial rejection off of that trend line, I'll be expecting the same on AUD USD. Especially because of how we closed for Friday. But before we even focus on the daily time, let's look at the weekly time frame. Obviously, on the weekly time frame, you can see market structure. We are down, new lower low, right? Look at the previous low here. Now we have a new one, double top. So what should I be expecting? After every break of a major market structure, there will always be a pullback. Remember, price doesn't move in a straight line like this. So price does this, pull back, this, then pull back. In an ideal market environment, price should pull back into this zone, then go ahead and create a new higher high, right? Then we should see a pull back into that zone and on like that in a bullish trend. The direct opposite or the reverse of that should be a bearish trend, right? So now that we have a new low, and seeing the way we close on Friday, if we go back to the daily time frame, seeing the way the weakness of Friday, I'll be expecting an initial pullback for next week, right? So what I would like to see is for price to come into here before we fall into 0.620000, all right? But let's go back to the daily time frame so that we can see things clearly. So just like I said from the weekly time frame, we can see things clearly on this daily time frame here. You can see this zone has been tested multiple times, looking left, right. So what should I be expecting next week? With this weakness of Friday, I'll be expecting an initial pullback into this area here. You can pause this video, go plot these zones on your chart. Then when price comes here, I'll add to my position because I'm currently swinging this on my swing accounts at the moment. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Is there anything much to say on the 4-hour time frame? The 4-hour time frame is pretty much like daily time frame. This is the zone I'm looking for the pullback to come into, at least for the early part of next week, before we collapse into 0.62000, right? Just like I mentioned earlier, this is my overall target here. So AUD USD for next week, I'm super bearish. I am super bearish. Now let's look at gold. Gold is another pair that has broken below the major points. I've been waiting for it to actually break below all this while. So now that gold has broken below this zone, my overall targets, like I've been mentioning for quite some time now, will be $1,800 per ounce, my initial overall target. And if we take that, then we look at the next targets down below. And if we break below that, we look at the next target down below, on and on and on like that. But for now, my first take profit area is 1,800, round number, perfect. But on the weekly time frame, remember, price between here and here is clearly in an uptrend, right? As you can see, clearly in an uptrend, right? Until we came here. Now check this out. The trend has changed to a bearish trend, right? In case you are not seeing what I'm seeing, this is a low, a high, a lower low, right? So this is a lower high. This was the previous low created. So low, lower high. we have a new lower low now because price has effectively broken below this area here. So we have a new lower low here. So now I'm beginning to be more bearish than bullish on gold, and bearish is the way to go for me next week. However, just like the dollar index, the AUD USD I just mentioned earlier, I'll be expecting an initial pullback. Simple. Into where? Let me just even put this line here. I'll be expecting a pullback into 1907 area. All right. So just basically between these zones. Okay. So I'll be expecting a pullback into here before we collapse into this round number, 1800, 1800. So pullback into here early part of next week, drop much later next week. Let's go to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, I gave you two possible scenarios last week where I will be buying if price should push higher, which is here, and where I'll be selling if price should push lower. Sorry, my chart is messy. Price actually went lower, but it looks messy right now, right? So let's go to the 15 minutes time frame, or let's say 1 hour. I actually sent out this chart analysis in the group on the Telegram channel. I think on Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday. I sent Euro USD, and I sent out AUD USD, and they all played out perfectly, as you can see. So next week, basically, let's go back to the daily time frame. Early next week, I'll be expecting a pullback into 1907 before the next big drop, right? Because if you see, price has been impulsive to the downside, as you can see between here and here, this is impulsive. So we need to see some correction at some point. And considering the way we closed Friday, I'll be expecting that initial pullback at least into here before we drop to the downside. Now let's go to Euro USD and GBP USD that are yet to change the direction of the trend. Since September last year, price has been bullish. Since September, if you look here, this is Wednesday, the 28th of September, 2022, price has been bullish, and we are yet to create a new lower low. Remember in last week's video, let's even first of all see how we close for the week. Before we do that, let's even look at the month. Price is still trading at a strong support level. If you are wondering why that is even a support level in the first place, look at this. Price has reacted to that zone significantly before. Look at this. Price has also reacted to that zone before. Even here, though there was a fake out, the price technically reacted to this zone after this drop, bounced off, then went up before dropping all the way to the downside. So it's simple. We are sitting on a major support level. So until we actually take out this support level before we can say for a fact that we are going to collapse all the way to the downside. Yes, it's obvious that we are in a complete downtrend. So does that mean between here and here, you should have still been selling? I mean, you don't want to be doing that, right? Except if you cut the move all the way from here, right? So at some point, you want to take profits and all of that, right? Of course, if you have been buying from here to here, you would have made significant money because price has been bullish for almost a year now. Right? But still, overall, we're in a downtrend from the monthly time frame perspective, right? So if we can take out this support level, then price is going to keep dropping to the downside. But if price, for whatever reason, rejects this level and keeps pushing higher, then this trend line would be my first take profit area, right? That's where I'll be trading into. Scaling down to the weekly time frame, the support level pretty much still holds on the weekly time frame, but clearly you can notice that we are still in a bullish trend. But if you've watched my market structure video, if you haven't, just click this video up here right now and you can watch the video. The link to the video will also be in the description down below. So on the weekly time frame, I was talking about the weekly time frame. It's obvious price is in a bullish trend, at least from here to here to here to here to here to here, right? So until we create a new lower low before we know that we are trading all the way to the downside, right? But let's go to the daily time frame so we can get a clearer picture of what I'm talking about. So yeah, on the daily time frame, we've established that since September we're in a bullish trend, right? So you can see we are still in that bullish trend here. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Higher low. We are yet to create a new low, right? But if by next week or the weeks after, or if in the future price actually takes out this zone, then guys, I'll be super bearish on Euro USD. Super bearish, because now we have a new lower low, right? This was the previous low here. Now we have a new lower low. So if this happens, then all I need to do is wait for a retest, scale to the lower time frame, catch my sell entry from here, then I swing on my swing account all the way to the downside. All right. So for Euro USD, price is sitting on a strong support level. So for the initial part of next week, however, at least for the time being, I'll be expecting price to at least push into 1.09371, right? So if we break above it, we'll keep pushing higher. But since between here and here, we've been in a strong downtrend. So if I buy, I'll be looking to take profit here. And if I see a good selling opportunity here, guys, I'll sell at least until we come down into this trend line here. But guys, if we break this trend line, we are going down. But if we bounce off this trend line, I will break above 1.09371. Guys, we are going higher, especially if we now even close this next week with a strong bullish weekly candlestick. So if you can see a bullish weekly candlestick from this point next week, guys, I'm bullish on Euro USD, right? But if we take out this trend line and this support zone here, I'm super bearish. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Hopefully we get to see things clearly. Yeah, we are sitting on a support level. I'll be expecting an early push into this area here, 1.09371, at least for the early part of next week. Then we may come here. Sorry, my chart looks messy. Those were areas I took trades last week, sell trades. So let me just delete them. So for the early part of next week, I would like to see price at least push into this zone here, right? So if we come into this zone, we could still sell off, okay? But if we don't sell off and we break above this zone, then we'll keep trading to the upside. But I'm not looking at much of a bullish price action for next week. The only bullish price action I'm looking for next week is between here and here. And if we break below here and this trend line, like I said, guys, super bearish, I'm swinging. All right, I'm swinging it. Then Gbpusd will be the last on my list for today. Let's start with the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame on Gbpusd. GBP has been stubborn with the US dollar, right? While other pairs are bowing to US dollar, GBP has decided to stand strong. So as you can see from the way we closed for last week, you can see that Gbpusd has been really stubborn. And remember, like I've been saying in all my weekly videos since price broke above here, this zone is a strong support zone, all right? It's a strong support zone. It has been used as a strong resistance previously. Now it is a strong support, right? You can see how many times price has bounced off this zone historically, right? So it makes this zone an interesting zone that you don't want to overlook. And no wonder the GBP has been stubborn. And you can see we've closed the week with a strong bullish candle. So I am bullish biased, at least until we come into this trend line. But all this still depends on how dollar index performs next week, guys. If dollar index breaks through that roof, then this guy cannot hold this position. It will definitely crack eventually to break below. And if that happens, then I'll be trading all the way into 1.21159. All right. So if dollar index can crack that strong resistance is trading at the moment, then this guy has no option than to collapse. But for now, we already established that dollar index is trading at very important points. So what if dollar index wants to fall off from that zone? That is also a possibility, right? So because at least for the past couple of months, it has been bearish after all. So that's a possibility. But for now, Gbpusd looks bullish, all right? And with this close for last week, I'll be expecting further bullish push. However, if we break below this support level, then guys, we are trading all the way to the downside. Let's go to the daily time frame so that we can see more price action. Pardon this trend line. I actually plotted it on the 4-hour time frame. All right. So just don't mind the trend line. You can see for the best part of last week, price just moved up a bit, but basically moved sideways, right? And it's looking like it is giving us a double bottom formation at that resistance level. So I would like to see price do this and trade all the way to the upside. But let's go to the 4-hour time frame so that we can see things clearly. So on the 4-hour time frame, just like what I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, guys, until price breaks above this zone, I'm doing nothing within this zone. So I want to see two things. If dollar index breaks above that major zone it is trading at the moment, then I will start selling GBPUSD below here. All right. Sorry. I'll start selling GBPUSD below 1.26068. All right. And I'll be trading it all the way to the downside, at least until we come into 1.21100. All right. Forgive this funny looking arrow here. But if price is committed to respecting this zone and pushing higher, guys, I'll wait for price to break above this resistance and take out this trend line properly, then come back for a retest. Then it is inside this zone. I'm going to look for buying opportunities using my rule-based execution trading strategy. Then I'm going to swing this to the upside, or at least until we come into the trend line that I showed you on the weekly time frame, right? Then on my prop firm accounts, of course, I'll be closing and taking more positions along the way as price progresses. So that will be all for this week, guys. Keep an eye on dollar index. Very, very important this week. You want to see if we break out of that zone. If we break out of that zone, then there's no need trading against the US dollar anymore, right? Because the US dollar is just going to trend from there. But if we see rejections and maybe a weekly bearish candlestick close at this point that it is trading at the moment, then guys, we'll be looking at a weaker dollar and we'll be trading against the dollar next 2 weeks. All right. So if you also want to learn how to do your analysis on how to execute trades, how to deal with mental aspect to trading, guys, you may want to consider purchasing any of our mentorship programs because it will really help you. And if you're also not interested, it's totally fine. So just make sure you watch our videos, you like and you share our videos. That will be also much appreciated. Thanks for staying to the end of this video. I wish you guys a successful trading week and I'll see you in our next video. Bye.